Another day, another CSS battle. Now I do have a leg up on this one. I got to chat with David Cotelessa earlier about possible solutions. There we go. There we go. So I have a plan for this that I'm fairly confident will work. I'll just need one element for it, but I'll add it in a moment. So let's see, we need a background. The plan actually involves using border for this, but I learned this trick watching the CSS battle live streams where they dissect solutions. So border, I happen to know it's 40 pixels, not solid, striped. And then striped, right? It is striped, or is it dashed? It's not solid. Is it dash? There we go. And we're getting the body and the HTML. You're seeing both the HTML and the body being selected here. That's why you're seeing multiple dashes. And we can control those to a certain degree with the size of the element. So we need, let's line up the outer dashes. Oh, that's a mess. Let's get 30 by 50. Maybe 80. There we go. That looks just about right. Yeah. Okay. So now we can see. Let's turn off slide to compare. This box right here, that's the body, and because it has that margin inside of HTML, it's reducing down to such a point that it's just border. That's all you're seeing. That's why there's no spaces there to it. And the reason why we're not seeing blank space along the outer edges here, I also learned, is because the background that we're applying to HTML and the body is actually bubbling up to the root canvas element. It's this bug that happens in this environment, and so that's why you're seeing it stretch all the way across, because it's actually applied to the canvas. So I mean, it works fine for my purposes here. I'm not going to complain. Now on the body, let's see what happens when we put a big negative margin on it. Okay, so it is, let's not do negative just 100. We see it grows, but it covers everything. What I think I want to do is have it cover everything, but have it cover it like up in this corner, and then do a p tag where I do the same thing down in this corner to get these two things. So I actually want negative 100. Let's do that, and then 100. Okay, so it's still trying to collapse within 200. 100. Okay, so it's collapsing together inside the HTML element. So a position fixed would correct this, and then some padding, and then I could just margin it wherever I wanted to. Now I'm deciding whether I even want to do that, because the other option is shrinking it down small. Let's say 100 by 0. Negative 50? Negative 1. Okay, now it is expanding out, but it's not doing what I expect it to. It's expanding weirdly. So top margin. Okay, I think I need to actually specify more. Okay, so let's say top margin is negative 100. That's over there. And then bottom, we're going to say 200. Interesting. So the HTML element grew with that as well, but we're still not getting the positioning I would hope for. Let's What happens if I move that? 90, 80, 70, 60. Okay. Interesting. I have a single block there. So left, right, bottom. What happens if I turn this, let's put a 150 over here, right? And then make this a 50. 40, 30, 20, 10. Does nothing. Probably because this is such a big value. 40, 30, 20. Well, I mean, let's say we block it in there. And then we give it a bottom 80, 180. Still not liking it, and it's the overflow issues that are occurring because of the very large margin that I'm applying. Okay, I think what I should do, let's just quit playing with this. Let's quit fighting the margin here and just give it a position fixed. And we do position fixed instead of absolute here because it's fewer characters and it doesn't matter in this context. And now we can just move this box where I need it to be. Oh yeah, we can if we give it a big padding, 50. I mean, look at that. So now watch what happens if it probably needs to be bigger than that, but I'm just gonna move it up to where I want it first. 50 and 100. There we go, that's about right. 120, and then jump this up probably to 100. 120, 140, 150. And I think what I need to do is actually turn that up. Yeah. Okay, let's see what the diff looks like. It's too low. So let's turn this up. And then it's perfect. And what we can do is, let's see how 80. Yeah, it's still the right size. And now that other one's off the screen, and we can just bring this up to where it needs to be. Okay. And I can repeat that, I think, for a P tag. I really hope I can. It should pick up that position fix that we threw on there. And we'll go P, and let's see if we can find it. Margin. So we have a negative 200, so it's probably way up there. Let's say 400. Ooh. 4. Okay, all right. Do 0, negative 100. Hey, there it is. Once you get it on the screen, it's much easier to manipulate it around 350. Wow. 150. A lot, just really big margins on this one. Okay, let's look at our diff. That's beautiful. All right, and submit. The other way to do this would have been to do some fancy box shadow things, like making this its own box, and then doing a box shadow to mask it, kind of thing, or like maybe a box shadow inset in order to max it. But then you have to change the background color. No, the background, what we'd have to do is unset the border and then set padding and then set, yeah, so I think that is going to end up with more characters because you'd need to delete the border to make that happen. Here we just use the border in a way that's not readily apparent. I mean, of course, you could always do something where you make this shape with the cutout and then you just rotate it, as needed. around. It's like rotate at 90, rotate at 90, rotate at 90, and just have three elements do that. That also would be probably very few characters. It's hard to say what would be better. And I bet if no, I probably can't save on that. I could save like one character by turning this margin into a var and then changing it here. It's like one character for those three margins because there's such a short property name. But let's see where we end up. And we're at 134 characters. I mean, when you're under 150, I feel like you can't really complain. I'm sure it's not the best solution, but it's pretty doggone good. So I like it. That's today's. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a good evening. I will see you tomorrow.